In this video, we have White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, a part of the Wokecratic Party, okay? Look, I'm just going to be honest with you. If you get aggravated easily, this is about to be a roller coaster ride for you. Without further ado, let's ride!
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre has always been a fierce and vocal ally of President Biden, and right now, for the first time on TV, she is giving her view on his decision to bow out of the race. Please welcome back the fabulous Karine Jean-Pierre. In the midst of this insanity of a news cycle where people will go, he's got to go, he's too old, he's too much. Where was your head when you are hearing people go at him like this as he's recovering from COVID at the same time?
So, look, you know, this has been an interesting couple of weeks, to say the least. But what has always been the case is it's always been a privilege and an honor for me to represent this president of the United States and be the White House press secretary for this president.
Right.
And at the end of the day, when you think about what he has done the last 4 years, when you think about who he has been as a human, as a person, by the time we're done, by the time we run through the finish line at the end of January, he would have done more than most presidents have done in 8 years. He would have done more in 4 years. And what we
Did y'all just hear what she just said? Do you hear the blasphemy? Are they smoking something? Like, again, not living in reality. Back to the video.
we saw from this president the last couple of days was a human decency, a good man, someone who decided not to put himself first, like we've seen before, but to put the American people first and this country first. And we cannot forget. We cannot forget what happened when this president and the vice president walked into this administration. There was a once-in-a-century pandemic. He turned that around. He recharged the economy. If you think about it, this economy is leading the world. I mean, this is something, wages are up, jobs have been created, millions of jobs created, unemployment is low. We're trying to continue to lower costs, lowering prescription drugs. I mean, it goes on and on.
He even tried to fix the border, and then the Republicans rejected it for dear leader.
Yeah, well, yes, they did. There was a bipartisan
Let her say it.
legislation in the Senate that,
Might have forgotten.
Look, this is another thing, right? This is a president who was able to work across the aisle and get things done, right? You think about the infrastructure legislation, the Chips and Science Act, the Veterans
Gun
Act,
legislation.
gun legislation. We hadn't seen that in decades, and this president got it done. So to your question, Whoopi.
That's not what the American people are calling for, and that's not what the American people need. I'm going to say that again. That is not what the American people are calling for, and that is not what they need. If you go to the original video on The View, do me a favor, check out the comment section. People can't afford their groceries. People can't afford their rent. People can't afford gas. Now, I'm not knocking the Medicare, Medicaid, all this other stuff that y'all saying y'all did and all that stuff and trying to fix the border and doing all this stuff. But look, or look under this comment section, because I'm sure people will voice their opinion on what this woman is saying and this blasphemy. Seriously, back to the video.
I think about that. I think about why we are doing this job. We are public servants. We are. And this president was a public servant for 54 years. 54 years. We're not done yet. We're not done yet. Obviously, he stepped down from from running and being the nominee, but he's very much still the
Yeah,
president.
he still got the job.
Yeah, he still has the job, and we have a lot more to get done on behalf of the American people, and he wants to zero in and focus on that. He's going to be coming back to the White House today. He's going to be giving an address tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Please watch. He wants to talk directly to all of you, to the American people, to talk about what's next. And so I know he's looking forward to doing that, so please tune in tomorrow.
Well, in the past few weeks, President Biden had been adamant he was staying in the race, but after a lot of the noise we've been hearing, public and private, from Democrats for him to withdraw, he announced on Sunday he was going to not seek re-election. What ultimately led to that massive decision?
So, and I would also say, folks who have not seen the letter that he penned on Sunday and shared and released, you should. I think the letter, if you read it.
Before she speaks, before she gets into her speech here, I want to say something that I actually did not mention, that she said that I didn't go over. Putting the American people first. If you watch his speech, and I'm talking about Biden's, if you watch Biden's speech, he literally said himself that he didn't put the American people first. And now he's putting the American people first by stepping out of the race. So that was false. I just wanted to state that before I forget, because that's a very, very important point. And that's how they try to spin it, right? So back to the video.
Thoroughly, there's no spin to it. There's no spin.
No.
He truly believed it was the right thing to do in this moment. He truly believed that it was the right thing to do for this country. I get a little emotional. The right thing to do for this country, the American people, is to give it to someone who is incredibly qualified, right? He said himself, the reason why he picked Vice President Kamala Harris is because he believed that she would be ready to lead from day one. And so he believed she was the right person to take over the campaign, and she is. And while all of us, it was hard for many of us, we are incredibly proud of this president. We trust his leadership, we trust his judgment, and we're just going to continue to be behind him as he continues to lead this country.
You know, people love Joe Biden. I mean, there was a great expression by his party, people talking on television all weekend about how much they love him. You know, because he is a lovable guy.
Yeah.
And he's got a good heart, you know, and all of that. There was a pylon to get him to step down by the Democrats, a lot of Democrats, and movie stars, George Clooney, for example.
I was tracking.
What?
I was tracking.
That's how you could tell they don't live in reality. That's how you could tell they don't live in reality. Oh, he was a good guy. Oh yeah, I liked his suit. He wore a nice blue suit, and it looked so good. He just was so sharp. He's just so friendly. Hey, how's everything going? No, that's not what it's about. You see what I'm saying? Like this is why we say that. Like, what planet are you guys literally? Are you guys on Mars? You know what I'm starting to think? I'm thinking they don't. It's not that I think they know and understand it, but they don't want to accept reality. I'm starting to think that. I'm starting to think that they get it, but they don't want to accept it. And they're just covering it up. That's where I'm leaning now. Because there's no way. I think you're playing dumb. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Back to the video.
I was trying to make a joke. I guess I'm not good at it.
I'm sorry.
It was good. She's focused. I got you.
I'm focused on that question. I'm sorry. But does Joe feel betrayed by any of that, or does he understand that it was for the country also?
I mean, look, he's going to speak tomorrow. We'll hear from him directly, and I think he'll address whatever is on his heart. Like you said, he has a big heart.
Yeah.
He understands where people are. He understands having done this 36 years as a senator, 8 years as vice president, and now almost 4 years as president. He gets it. He gets where we are as a country. Let's not forget, there's a lot at stake. There's a lot at stake, guys.
You're not kidding.
Our democracy is at stake. A woman's right to choose and to make decisions on their own bodies at stake. You know, and let me.
People's incomes
are at stake. There's so
Oh,
much voting
don't you
rights is
dare.
at stake, and he gets that. I mean, let's not forget.
Don't you dare say people's incomes. Don't you dare. People's incomes are at stake. No, don't try that. Don't try that. Nah, you're bugging. You're bugging because Y'all have 4 years to figure that out. 4 years. Back to the video.
Why he
And by the way, I want to make it, I just real quick, I just want to say this. This is very important. Again, I want you guys to understand, whatever president we have, it is up to you to make, a way for yourself, an opportunity for yourself. And I'm not saying that just because whatever president means you could be successful or not. Absolutely not. But a lot of that stuff, a lot of the basic necessities impact your everyday life. That is a fact. And, comment if you agree. Back to the video.
ran in the first place. In 2020, he decided to jump in. He didn't have to.
Yeah.
He decided to jump in because he wanted to really save the soul of this nation.
Yeah.
Soul of this nation.
Yeah.
And so, look, I'm going to let him speak to this. And I think it's just really important that, I came on the show. I wanted to share my thoughts as the White House press secretary, as his person who has been speaking for him the last couple of years, but also to lift up what we have been able to do. And it's been historic, unprecedented, like never been seen before, not leaving communities behind, making sure that everyone is included in decisions that he makes. And I think that's important. I feel seen. And I know many people that I work with feel seen because of this president and his leadership.
Right. And all the great stuff he's doing for student debt, man.
The student debt.
Student debt. That is.
Student debt. And let's not forget, Republicans got in the way.
Yes, they
They
did.
got in the way, and he's still.
All right. If I have to listen to any more, I'm not gonna lie. If I have to listen to any more of this, guys, look, I'm going to pause it here. Let me know what you think about this argument here. And it's not really an argument, right? They're just, they're just bigging him up and stuff. And I get it. But again, and I'm not saying he didn't do anything. Nobody's saying he didn't do anything, but he didn't do what the American people need at the end of the day, right? There's been wars started. Like, I could understand if they came from a point of, saying what good happened and the bad, right? Because realistically speaking, every president that you get, every person that gets elected, you have some good and some bad, right? And even Trump supporters will tell you, he's done a lot of good, but there's a thing or two, right? So just I don't expect anybody to be perfect, right? And nobody's asking for that. But the basics, we're talking about the basics, are getting left unchecked, right? And I feel like I'm repeating myself, but I have to because I say this in almost every video, and I have to say it because nobody else is saying it. So I got to speak up, and I'm going to speak up, right? But hopefully I'm not the only one. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, okay? And I mean, how do you feel about what Karine is saying? And I disagree heavily with it. Okay. I disagree heavily with what she's saying. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Make sure you slap the like button, kick the subscribe button for more. Until next time, peace.